CDL practice test general knowledge. How long should the mud flaps on a truck and trailer be? Long enough to reach within 8 in of the roadway. If you're driving in town, how far will your recommended 12 to 15 second planning ahead measure in distance? About a single block. A bridge formula restricts the axle weight for axles which are closer together. How soon should oil pressure rise to a normal level after starting the engine? Within seconds. If starting from a standstill on a hill, what's the best way to get moving? Partly engage the clutch before you take your right foot off the brake. Driving on a highway, it is recommended that you monitor a quarter of a mile ahead. At highway speeds, this equates to 12-15 sec. Descending a long downgrade, which of these will help you if you have brake difficulties? Escape ramp, a turn going uphill, an open field, all of the above. If you are tested and found to have a blood alcohol concentration below 0.04% but above 0.0, what will happen? You will be taken out of service for 24 hours. Federal, state, and local regulations concerning cargo weight, securement, and cover vary widely, which should you be all of them. What are two of the most common causes of tire fires? Underinflation and duals that touch. The minimum number of T-downs on a load is 2 if your load protrudes more than 4 feet beyond the rear of your vehicle, which of these ado, yani din Texas, a red flag at least 1 to X12 and day is special permit. A burning red vistul night alaf above. If an accident vivifil be me, what shall deudal, apply directrician tour. I theorize a biofioric tyakin, why shall du koshaster. It will avoid tinging. Hol can you avoid trentry, look at these adeliantes. If you have atostofid woodwoodidide, how shall du popleklianary? At 10 feet, 100 fan to 100 ft, alpha singa profacrinct, how shall du poistory, straight with yorb. If backing with the tear talked, turning thwe weldil, turn the kabula fanterit. If you have atostopondrion, house how du swarentary. On a frontandinier, and oni nerthaful effecturililifififif. I for aeroad crustescens tis, exit. What shall du berry, you coljathun contant. When descending gaffin to stile, what is sit in la fool toffee, tokos downthal. I few who tathakoging, what's the bestient, stop in sfs bequaritishant. I few have kypafari extinger, what is it suitable felder, electric alfer skunden. Halat shall du bear feffenter, the feorva hikla flordiv. How many differentialists slice and seskin usum, 1. I for oed has been dreartly, why can't it maforentorio? Thus clearancia farabi. Why does the gregretifil plus load, and thus 80 offtex, 80,000 pounds. I few have yakinvery e.g., fisheye, spot, bug-eye, what shall dulof. Theligex maferiteres. Wittikoff the foliquantori. Gravel sand wood chips loose material. If lugnitchivs toric terex, what might the tindic, they might be loose. Wanikoff the secomiclist, school buses heavy equipment, trucks carrying orphans trees, power lines, etc. Before backing up, get out off the vafald willikudle. How many red warngeling, flares, reflector shalefri. 3 ekawani tostar bashanti. Hoat chaldius were entry flares, reflectors, according to Texa, to red flags. You can't see there for taunter, you must ask him. He can't see utin tandixt, you must self-certify that. You are an otatic toladol tol note an insulin dependent diabetic. Note addicted todrugs alaf tiabiv howdoig no wefanteristes. By monitoring the phone listlide, how much dosiasi ardentistin. Fortin s forwichifostums. Toshausam bududini. I few erito inganovi, huadis the maxif interactilin. 15th to furek what shall do you defeared. When you are udifake, for example, etangina diener, levatin pluvivera you are a follow in glaver. Why does the minimum westiami? Any space before a feffel. If you travel at 5.5 mf instead of 6.5 mph, you called in provibariomi. Amelie per galantoyanton, upon reaching your safe speed, you should then brake. 5 slower when per felgram around inspection. What must I meristes? Grab thestirintistinantic. If I go stopography, what will happen? You will betray tffffff say. I fo heavy cargarifiziner, it's impertantity. Don't open the door toff. How often must I stoikor? Every 3 hours, 150 miles if you must leave the road to avoid a collision, you should. Stay in shall duly keep a nested of wintontontozen. Avoid breaking alif tube of hike of these secreries. Tireta fura tentora fence, what shall judo? Stop at asif edi stare tefet. Protexio fro for ferry, emergency stop. Brick of the Fala Drafantal. Trucks carrying Goospsel heavy equipment. Kenya de Kemative Intriations. Only if the Dr. Farafafisti. Hoat Chaldi Doifantori wheel braking ski. Stop braking ganderders. Hoai Kof the Fala Losrendari. Light load. Wicca Hiklas Tordentex. Width. And way Tregula Fentirantes. Isai Orva Hiklas Stick. Hoat Childudo. Mention Atathamerum. Onjina start. Hoat Childio Cork. Macasur the Olprigs raise. On your second out dash of dash service violation, in 10 years, you will lose your CDL for at least 1 year. Which off is Stistunastian, leaking shockabers, Hoatis the best Wafericri, Escopramp, Hoaikoff the fall la quantong, they're the same. How wild you descrickle, nodisitas botnak, thick, which off the falistuan, low, dropping, or fluctuating goalers. Hifisold hyafer tefant, a driver may want to Goshans, Wathing childri krakukik, watch gagas force burns. Look, listen, smell, feel check ridicule accusum. What are at the cost for if, under inflated dudhuff. Hoat effecto stofen tefifif lifts, longer breaking zist dordentant. Helatus the mistifentorians, yours offendithers. Hoat may happen if forler, skid, jackknife, spin. Ho fast mustio be onterief, 15 fover limit. What is roadridge, trying to hurt the fivlisteras. I fio hero ladorif staring heavy, what shall dudo? Grip the wheel indefinitely. When thorized in ocean tori. Don texid griswifel epiphismum is. You may be fined 5,000 orgado jail. What is in safa coasting, kafeping yorva fofantoref. Eliasiakum tokolifanti. Yorkdal wilbur foford. Un welasia forfantor. Refusing town to lostop. Levaving theskandi kandikikikin in driving the width of 0.04% or higher. Hoat chaldiu doifori, sleep. Hoatis the mustimal terrence, stop. Wexitig regretful actifizi acceptive sizes. 80,000 pounds. I feel let some and wyakri, hoat punishment tora do, 5,000 fine jail fired. Ili or licensetrapori, controled substance, or floni, yowel. Lozi orkla fortuntaries. Hoem any days dofantorief, any other violation equals 30 days. Wick of the falafitering. Straight line baking, office back, right or left, parallel parkinetters, and deladic. When at force doyle and territory, gravity. Hoathric in sufi mentariumum. Fuses signaling devices. And an extinguished derifetal. Hoat chaldi u defefilfof. Keep a nested of wintontontosen. White color shall door crensley. Your clearance illa frienders. Honflo sedithantums, 8 in. Wisit puthings licklicklickle test list. Alof that has test intarian cab inspection. Then, you test meriquifintarianch. Huater at that wabavarix. Talat was a crestant. Crek your muriferfinct. How much do sai orifenephysis 6 horse of sleeperless, 3 times winchel dundi. Before a start in grifrantal, you'll may. Urinodalo wets, hold thephonatur, ordeal by prestun tentanti. When chaldu and Jordi, before the trip after the first 50 miles. Every 3 hours, 150 miles.